As an American sports classic, the Indianapolis 500 creates its own legends. And again today, the present will be tightly linked to the past.
They're racing in Indianapolis.
A.J. Foyt will win the Indianapolis 500.
John Cock and Beers.
Over the roar of the engine, you can hear the 400,000 people.
Mario Andretti. Parnelli Jones.
Johnny Rutherford. And look out, a crash before the start of the race. He won it by less than a car length. No one has ever seen this before in Indianapolis.
Levi through the wall. He goes into a terrible flip, and we have a fire.
Al Unser Sr. takes the lead in the Indianapolis 500. You've got 18 laps to go.
We made history. Now it's your turn.
Greg Ray makes a move and takes the lead at the Indianapolis 500.
Bobby Gordon is on fire.
I believe that's the closest finish in Indy history.
Eddie Cheever has won the 82nd running the Indianapolis 500.
Buddy Lazier picks up the lead of the 500 with 8 laps to go.
Billy Bode has qualified for the 84th running of the Indianapolis 500.
What will happen today? What history will be written today? What legends will be born today? ABC Sports presents the Indy Racing Northern Lights Series, today featuring the greatest spectacle in racing. And after 2 days of off and on rain, we've gotten a small break. We have very light sprinkles. It's about 70 degrees and only a slight chance of rain is in the forecast for the start of the race in about an hour. The field for the greatest spectacle in racing includes Indy Racing League champion Greg Ray, Juan Montoya, the top driver from the championship auto racing circuit, and Steve Knapp, who's made a miraculous recovery from a broken neck sustained 10 months ago. It's time now for the premier auto race in the world, the Indianapolis 500. Hi again, everyone. I'm Al Michaels, and never has a location and a number been so intertwined. In the game of word association, it's hard to imagine anything coming to mind after Indianapolis but 3 magic numerals. When this race was first run in 1911, it took Ray Haroon 6 hours 42 minutes to finish those 500 miles. These days, even with numerous yellow flags, the race is run in less than half that time. But engineering accomplishments notwithstanding, it is still a race about the human race. 33 drivers will strap themselves into motor-driven bullets and compete on the type of exhilarating edge very few of us will ever experience. It's a diverse group. The fastest qualifier never even sat in a race car until he was 25. Today, 8 years later, Greg Ray will be on the pole. In the second row is a man who has miles to go before he sleeps. 1,100, in fact. Robbie Gordon races here and then flies immediately to North Carolina to run another 600 in a stock car tonight. In the sixth row, a 2-time winner of this race provides a blast from the past. Al Unser Jr. comes back to Indy after a 6-year absence. And in the seventh row, well, if you were at a certain high school graduation ceremony in Central Ohio last May, under cap and gown and mortarboard was a 5'2" 18-year-old whose grade point average ranked 7th in a class of more than 170. Today, having had a regular driver's license for only 3 years, 19-year-old Sarah Fisher becomes the 3rd woman to start the great race. So there's plenty to cover, plenty to talk about, and we'll begin with the pole sitter. It is traditional in motor racing for a champion to drive number 1, and there is the car of the pole sitter, one Greg Ray, who last year won the Indy Racing League title, but it hasn't been a smooth road. In 1998, he was driving for a low-budget team, and they put $100 bills on the bodywork. All kinds of sponsorship was welcome. Then in the race last year, he had the lead 4 times for 32 laps, but that pit road accident with Mark Dismore wrote an inglorious end to his day. Last week, however, he proved he was back in the business, completing a 4-lap qualifying run with an average speed of 223.471 miles per hour to earn the pole. Greg Ray, the pole sitter. Let's go to him now with Jack Garute.
And Al, when Greg Ray was in his early 20s, he used to get up past midnight to watch reruns of Indy 500s, and today you'll bring the field down. How are you going to do it?
Well, certainly very carefully. You know, it's a 500-mile race and 200 laps here, and it's really not that important to lead the first lap, the second lap, even the 100th lap. It's the last lap that pays all the money.
Greg Ray came here, Al Michaels, back 4 years ago and had to start on the last row. Since then, he's been on the front row.
And Jack, a lot of eyes obviously will be on him. A lot of eyes will be on that car starting in row 7, the car number 15, driven by Sarah Fisher. Just another symbol that nothing is ever out of reach. In 1977, Janet Guthrie broke the gender barrier in Indy. And in 1992, Lynn St. James became the second woman to run here. In the mid-'80s, Sarah Fisher's father introduced her to quarter midgets. On she went to sprint cars and regular midgets with great success. And then all the way to the big time when she made her Indy Racing League debut in Texas last October. Then, last Saturday, right here, 19-year-old Sarah Fisher of Commercial Point, Ohio, earned a spot in today's race. Let's meet the youngest driver in the field as we go to Vince Welch.
Sarah Fisher has run hundreds of races, and she has won many, but never before the Indianapolis 500, a race of this magnitude. Sarah, what are your thoughts an hour before race time?
I think this is the time to go. This is the best part when you actually get in the car and go. It's past the media, it's past the fans. It's the part of racing that I absolutely love, and definitely just looking forward to getting in there and going.
What do you see as your biggest challenges?
I think finishing the race. That's going to be our #1 goal, and if we can do that, we're going to be fine in the end.
Sarah Fisher, Al Michaels, she is one of 7 drivers to be vying for the Rookie of the Year award, an award won by only one other female driver.
That is a story that is as good as it gets. You know, we mentioned a couple of moments ago Lynn St. James, and she is one of 2 women in today's field. Lynn St. James missed the race the last 2 years, almost missed this one as well after this frightening crash as she warmed up to qualify last Saturday. But she was okay, and on Sunday in a new car, she was quick enough to earn a 7th start in the 500. Let's go right now to Dr. Jerry Punch.
From her impressive Rookie of the Year performance in 1992 to that resilient recovery from a frightening crash 1 week ago. And Lynn, once again, you have beaten the odds here at Indy. Might this be your most gratifying start today?
Well, because of Dick Simon and Dick Simon Racing and Yellow Freight, I am back in the Indy 500. And I'm savoring every moment of it, absolutely every moment of it. I'm looking forward to the race. History I know is being made, but I'm not thinking about that today. I'm thinking about the race and about the fact that there's a future. And I'm very excited about that future.
Al Michaels, because of the courage and perseverance of Lynn St. James, and today, Sarah Fisher, the spirit of the American woman will continue to loom large at Indy.
And Jerry, we can tell you that Janet Guthrie now lives in Aspen, Colorado with her husband. Today she is in Denver. She is watching this race in a hotel room. There'll be no more ardent viewer of the Indianapolis 500 than one Janet Guthrie. The 84th great race. We'll be back.
Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home. And Budweiser, the beer with the fresh, clean taste that's never filling.
Gray skies, it still sprinkles. The umbrellas have popped out, but as of right now, it appears we will have an on-time start for the Indy 500. And these 33 drivers comprise the starting grid. The front row features pole sitter Greg Ray, last year's kart champ Juan Montoya, and Eliseo Salazar. From row 2, Robbie Gordon tries to erase last year's heartbreak from inside Scott Sharp and Jeff Ward. In row 3, Jimmy Vasser returns to Indy after a 5-year absence with Stan Waddles and Robbie Buell. 1998 winner Eddie Cheever starts on the inside of row 4 alongside Mark Dismore and Robbie McGee. 9-time Indy veteran Scott Goodyear, rookie Sam Hornish Jr. and Donnie Beechler comprise row 5. In the 6th row, rookie Jason Leffler is surrounded by 2 former Indy winners, Buddy Lazier and Al Unser Jr. The spotlight in row 7 shines brightest on rookie Sarah Fisher. She's next to Stefan Gregoire and rookie Ayrton Daré. Row 8 is composed of Buzz Calkins, Richie Hearn, and 11-time starter Raul Boisel. Jimmy Kite, rookie Jacques Lazier, and the comeback kid Steve Knapp are in row 9. Working their way through traffic from row 10 will be Davey Hamilton, Jared Schrader, and Johnny Unser. And in the 11th and final row are Billy Boat, Lynn St. James, and rookie Andy Hillenberg. Well, the newest story, it's beginning to rain a little harder right now as we take a look at the garage of one Chip Ganassi, a fixture for years here at Indianapolis, but a man who now comes over after an absence from the Championship Auto Racing Teams circuit. And let's visit with him as we go to Leslie Goodell. Leslie.
Chip Ganassi has spent most of his 42 years around the track. He first raced in the Indy 500 in 1982, but didn't taste victory at the fabled track until '89 as co-owner of Emerson Fittipaldi's team. By '95, he had become a fixture at the Brickyard.
And Chip Ganassi, after all the years, does the thrill of this moment ever go away?
Never, Jerry. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'm coming back every year.
As it turns out, the Target Chip Ganassi racing team hasn't been back since. Ganassi, along with the other kart owners, staged the inaugural US 500 in 1996, the same day as Indy. A rocky start turned into a smooth finish for Jimmy Vasser, who won the race from the pole. Vasser went on to win the championship that year, the first of 4 straight championships for Ganassi Racing. They won in '97 and '98 under the talents of Alex Zanardi, and in '99 with rookie sensation Juan Montoya, who joins Ganassi in his return to the 500.
It's my pleasure to announce that Target Chip Ganassi Racing will be returning to the Indianapolis 500.
Ganassi brought his drivers here for one reason, and that's to win. Chip Ganassi returns to Indy for the first time since kart and the IRL became 2 separate series. Chip, why the decision to return this year?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, the people think I did this return on my own, but it really took all of the kart owners to clear the weekend off here at Indianapolis. And I thought a few more of them were going to come back, and they didn't. But it took all of them to open the weekend up. Once that weekend was opened up, I talked to, I told Target, I said, hey, I think we're going back to Indy. And they said, let's go for it. So here we are.
What was it like when you first came back, and what has the emotional buildup been like since you returned?
It was certainly, you know, walking into the garage area the first day, I remember with, you know, and all the cars, a lot of excitement. I've been back here a few times, but not really in a race situation. And, you know, to come back and walk through the gates, it's certainly, you know, a little tingle up your spine, no doubt.
How has the reception been by everybody?
Absolutely great. I mean, everybody, you know, Tony, Brian, and everybody on down has all been, you know, just open arms all week, anything we can do to help you. And I have to say, I wasn't expecting it to be so nice of a return. And on the other hand, I thought that on the kart side, I was going to get a little more flack, and really neither one of them, neither thing happened, knock on wood.
Chip Ganassi celebrated his 42nd birthday earlier this week. Win here today might be a pretty nice birthday present, Al.
Okay, thank you very much, Leslie. With 2 drivers in the race, his key man is Juan Montoya. Starts in the middle of row 1. Like any 4-year-old worldwide, having grown up in South America, he was a kart champion by the time he was 14 years old, driving go-karts in his native Colombia. And then last year he won 7 races and the overall championship on the kart circuit. Today he makes his Indy debut from the middle of row 1. Juan Montoya as we go back to Leslie.
Juan Montoya finished 4th yesterday in the Nazareth kart race, and you know, you don't look the least bit intimidated or worried about this race at this track today. You seem very relaxed.
Yeah, you know, I think it's good to be here with the Target team. It's pretty exciting, I gotta tell you. You know, it's a shame it's raining right now, but we'll see what happens.
You know about the history in this race. Do you feel that kind of history and tradition when you're out here?
To be honest, a little bit, but not massively. You know, it's more, you know, when you get into a truck, you just focus on driving the car and try to go as fast as you can.
I'm sure you guys talked race strategy. You're in the middle of the front row. What do you plan on doing? Do you anticipate trying to make a jump early, or is that something you know you need to concentrate on getting out to a clean start?
No, you just gotta get to the end, you know, and you don't want to put anything in risk, and we'll see what happens, you know. If you have a chance to take the lead, you'll take it. If you don't, you just go whatever you can go.
What's the most important thing for you to do today to win this race?
Cross the line first.
That makes sense. Graham Hill was the last rookie to win this race back in 1966, Al, and Juan Montoya looks to update the history books this afternoon.
Well, he can get Chip Ganassi into the winner's circle, as can the other driver, Jimmy Vasser, who raced yesterday in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, finished 7th in a kart race there. Grew up in Southern California, started driving quarter midgets when he was in grammar school, and he made his Indianapolis debut in '92. Then 4 years later, he moved over to the kart circuit and promptly won the championship. Now, after a 5-year absence, he's back home again in Indiana, and he is with Leslie Goodell.
Jimmy Vasser finished 7th in yesterday's Nazareth race, kart race at Nazareth. Jimmy, You know what it takes to race this race. There's a fatigue factor involved. Yesterday, you guys put in 225 miles. Today, another 500. Does fatigue come into play in that?
No, not really. You know, we got out of there pretty early last night, got back, had a good night's sleep, and to be honest with you, the ovals aren't as physically demanding as road courses, and we could do 2-3 day tests sometimes we run all day, so I don't think physical fatigue is going to be much of an issue today.
What has it been like for you to be back at this track?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we've been well received, and there's been a lot of changes. Tony George has done a lot of great changes to the track, and you know, it's a beautiful facility.
I take it drinking milk today would be a pleasure.
Absolutely.
What do you guys do as far as strategy is concerned? What is your focus going into this race?
Well, just get a good start and settle in, work on the car, take care of the car, and have good stops. I got my good guys here today. They're going to give me good pit stops, and you know, just be there at the end with a car that's as quick as it can go, and I think we'll have a shot at it.
Although you haven't been here since 1995, you do have experience here at this track, and of course, unlimited racing experience at this point. How much does experience play a part in this race?
Well, I think it always plays a part, and but you know, certainly you don't need to be like been here 10 years to win this thing. I think Juan's going to have a good shot. He's never raced here. He showed that he can run up front and run fast. So we'll have to wait and see.
2 top 10 finishes yesterday. If they can do that again today, I would imagine the Target Chip Ganassi racing team will be quite happy, Al.
Okay, Leslie, they'll have to do it after a delay because those sprinkles when we came on the air have turned now into a fairly steady rain. And I'm not auditioning for a job at the Weather Channel, but I think we're at the back of a front. The front already moved through. Right now we've got the tail. Unfortunately, that tail right now has caused these cars, for the moment, to go back to the pits. Our coverage continues from Indy after this. A.J. Foyt, for the moment, staying dry. He drove to 4 wins here in Indianapolis in his illustrious career. Last year, he was the car owner, Kenny Breck, who decided to this year run on the kart circuit, won this race last year, is not back to defend, but he has 3 cars in the field as he seeks to go to victory lane for the 6th time. But right now, we have a brand new facility here. That is the Pagoda, which was built over the past year and a half here at Indianapolis. Scoring and timing, and the officials are there, including Brian Barnhart, who is the director of racing operations for the Indy Racing League and the man who will make the call as to when and whether this race can start. Brian, first of all, give us the latest weather forecast. What do you know right now?
Well, Al, we're a little disappointed, obviously, as everybody else is, with this latest shower that's just come down. It's going to delay us considerably. We'll wait till the rain stops, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway track safety crews and maintenance crews will start running the trucks and the jet dryers and get it dried off as soon as we can.
To the best of your knowledge, right now in Indianapolis, it is 10:24. What are they telling you in terms of when the rain will stop?
Well, this one kind of boiled up on the radar screen. We were keeping track of it all morning, and there really wasn't anything west of us for most of the morning, and then this one just kind of developed, and they've said this one will probably be here for about 30 minutes. And if nothing else develops behind it at that point in time, we ought to start the drying process.
Once it stops raining, Brian, what's the procedure? What happens chronologically?
Well, we're going to try and continue with as many as the opening ceremonies as we can right now, even though the inclement weather is not real enjoyable for the fans or the participants. We'll get the ceremonies out of the way, and as soon as it is to the point where we can get the trucks out and start running the fire trucks, the wreckers and the ambulances, will then get some moisture up off the track and then follow up with the 6 jet dryers, the vacuum, and the blower.
In your estimation, if we don't get very much more rain from this point on, how long will that take to put the track in racing shape?
If we don't get a whole lot of rain, you're probably looking at about 2 hours and 15 minutes to dry it once it stops.
Now, for a race to be official, how far does it have to go?
We have to make it to lap 101 for an official event.
So that's a little bit more than halfway. Now, at what point will you say everybody can go home and we'll try it again tomorrow?
Well, I don't think we'd ever want to start this race without having the full intention and time allotted to run full distance. So if we don't go green by 3:45, I would anticipate at that point in time we would cancel it and run tomorrow.
Okay, so now you're talking about 5 hours and 20 minutes from now, and that would give you enough time and enough daylight to finish 500 miles?
Right, yeah, I would hate to cheat the participants or the fans out of something less than that if if there's anything we can do about it.
Brian, what would happen if you start the race and then you have to stop it and you don't get to the halfway point and you can't continue? What happens then?
If we have started the event and we're short of the halfway point, if we have to red flag, we would then just postpone and pick up tomorrow or the first clear day with the next lap in sequence.
Okay. Well, we appreciate it, sir. Well, I'm sure we will be checking back with you shortly. Well, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Al.
Okay, that's Brian Barnhart. And now you're up to date in terms of the weather as we take a look at one Robbie Gordon, one of the top drivers on this circuit. Heartbreak last year. He came within 3 miles of winning the Indianapolis 500 as we take a look back to last year's Indy late in the race.
Rainy conditions, certainly not what Robbie Gordon wanted to see today, because Gordon not only running here at the Indianapolis 500, but time is of essence, running at the Charlotte today as well. But first and foremost, the Indy 500, and your thoughts on what the rain does, and from a strategy perspective, what do you do?
I'm pretty surprised because it looked so nice this morning. It didn't look like we were going to have a chance of rain. It was, pretty much sunny skies when I got here, and I was extremely disappointed to see the rain come down. I'm sure many fans are as well. We feel pretty good about our performance in practice, and think we got a pretty decent car for the race.
I guess they're moving the race car in here now because they've pulled the race cars from the track. So, Robbie, obviously we're going to be in for a long delay now. From a driver's perspective, what do you do? What goes through your mind mentally? Is the preparation philosophy remain the same, or do you just try to catch a breath and relax?
I don't think you can worry about weather. The only thing is we have a backup plan for our Winston Cup program. P.J. Jones drove it last night, turned some pretty good lap times. We're pretty excited with what he did. If it's still wet at 3 o'clock, there's no way we're going to get this race in, so we'll still be able to make the flight back to Charlotte to run that race and then come back here tomorrow. It's unfortunate. I know a lot of fans make travel plans to race today, and I hope we get it in today.
You're scheduled to start on the inside of row 2. Talk about that perspective, and you've had a very fast month here in Indianapolis.
It's the same place we started last year, and we're very excited about that. The car's been running really well. My teammate Gregory qualified on pole. We qualified 4th. I think I got a good race car. I've never been much of a qualifier anyway, so I figure I'm a better racer.
You've been through the fright of being a rookie, and of course a veteran here now, and with the frustration of what happened to you last year. Where are you now in the midst of that wheel of emotion and experience?
I think we're better prepared now. I think we're more organized as a race team, and I honestly believe that our chances are very good. Every year we've been here, we've led, so it's going to be an opportunity of being around 500 miles into the race for the end of it. I know everybody's worked really hard. The pit crew's ready. We figure we got a good package to start the race with. Obviously, we can change our aero package as the race goes on, and that's what we did last year, and we had a car strong enough at the end that we could lead the race convincingly.
Robbie Gordon in the 32 car starting on the inside of row 2. You see it's wet. They'll dry it off and hopefully get it back out for the running of the 84th Indianapolis 500. Al Michaels.
All right, thank you, Vince. And another car staying dry right now in the garage is number 3. It belongs to Al Unser Jr. Starts outside row 6. He won the last IRL race in Las Vegas in April. And back he comes to what he calls home. Here is Jack Arute.
I used to be a 9-year-old kid that life came so easy to him and all that, and now I appreciate it way more because it's so hard to get to where we have gotten.
At the beginning, the journey was effortless. A 10th in '83, his rookie year, sent Unser down a path blazed by his dad and intertwined with Indy. By '92, he was a 500 champion. In '94, he became the 10th different driver to win 2 500s. But in '95, his career took a disturbing detour when he failed to qualify for the 500.
I took that long walk down pit lane, and it was just crushing. And those were my last memories of Indianapolis, and it's been that way for 4 years.
The division of kart from Indy haunted Al till this season.
You first have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And I saw it, you know, just eating away at me, eating away at my family, and you know, it came to a point where, you know, I'm not married anymore, and so it was overwhelming me to not being able to come back here.
Al's daughter, Cody, confined to a wheelchair with transverse myelitis, has helped him cope with his personal trials.
The challenges in front of her are way more challenges than what I faced that day in Las Vegas. And I was trying to win that race, just win any race, to show her that, you know, see, Cody, if you work at it and you want it, it'll come.
Through both rewards and miseries, Al Unser's center has been and still is Indy.
This is where I was raised. I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but my whole life has been, you know, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and so we're back.
And Al Unser Jr. about to make what he hopes to be the only right-hand turn of the day, going up towards his pit area. Al, welcome home.
Well, thank you. I tell you, Jack, it's really exciting to be here. It's just a shame that we were under this rain delay, but not even this rain can dampen my spirits at all. This is the most exciting time, and what can I say? I'm back home again, and I love it, and we just hope to have a good, safe race.
Compare your feelings right now as we walk up this pit lane to the feelings that you had when you walked up with your cousin Johnny and your cousin Robbie last year as a spectator.
Well, it's totally different, you know. I was real happy for them, but I was very envious of them, you know, because this is my dream to come here and race, and when we were walking up last year, it just wasn't the same, and so now we're just, like I said, not even the rain can dampen my spirits today. It's awesome.
We talk about the journey that you've made through your life. You've talked about the fact that things maybe came too easy for you. Is there a peace with Al Unser these days?
Well, yeah, there is. I mean, it's something that, what can I say? I'm at the most beautiful racetrack in the world, and it's race day, and yeah, I mean, we're content. You know, the biggest challenge in my life these days is getting my little girl Cody to walk again, and so on, and if we can do that, then all the stars will be right again.
Cody's always had good things to say about you. She kind of motivates you. We talked about it in Vegas, what you wanted to prove. What did Cody tell you today before the race starts?
Well, Cody gave me a call last night, and actually I got messages from all my children that says, "Good luck, Daddy, and go for it." And so once I heard those words, I was real happy, and so kids, we're going to do our best to get them today.
Jerry, maybe there's a new journey about to be embarked by Al Unser Jr.
And Jack Arute, no name is more synonymous with success here in Indianapolis than this man's. Foyt at AJ, in typical Texas fashion, with Eliseo Salazar in row 1, Jeff Ward in row 2, and Billy Bowden in the last row, you've got the field surrounded. How do you feel your chances are today?
Well, if the cars keep running good and perform all day, I got 3 drivers. Any one of them could win this race pretty easy. But it's according to what we got under them. And like I said, one thing we're all nervous with, we've all had a lot of transmission trouble, everybody. So I've told the drivers, just play it cool till the end of the day, and then we'll try to go for it. And we're just going to try to keep them in striking distance, because to win this race, you got to be there at the end of the day. I mean, you can lead it for 100 miles or 200, which I have, and then not be there at the end. Actually, the only lap we carry leads the last lap.
All your wisdom here about the weather situation. The rain has come now, and we're being told it'll move away in a half an hour or so. We'll get the track dry. But with all the races you've run here 35 times, how will this change the racetrack?
Well, the racetrack, like I told them Corporation Day, you go out and you shake down the cars, get them working. I said, but forget Thursday, because come Sunday it's going to be completely different. I went over that with the drivers. That's reading we run 15 or 16, but not too hard. I said, because you're not going to learn nothing today. And we put the downforce on it. And I know some guys aren't running downforce, but we figure when it gets kind of greasy and all that, that you'll need all that. So that's kind of the way we set the cars up, and it's like rolling the dice. We're either going to roll a 7 or a crap. Very simple.
All right, let's talk to your front row starter, Eliseo Salazar. Eliseo, you share the front row with 2 very aggressive drivers in Greg Ray and Juan Montoya. What are your concerns at the start?
No, I don't think we have any concern. I mean, they are both champion of IRL, Greg Ray, and champion of kart, Juan Montoya. We discussed a little bit during the drivers' meeting. You know, Brian Barnhart, the director of operations, he said he expects Greg, you know, to hit the bricks first when they throw the green. So I asked, I mean, is that the rule or no? He said no, but we expect that to happen if nothing goes wrong with Ray. But we will all try to go into one. But I know Juan is aggressive and Greg too. But they're both very experienced, so I don't have any concerns about turn one.
If he were to win this one today, the shockwaves will be heard around the world. A hero back in Santiago, Chile. There are hundreds of Chileans here behind you on pit road waving flags. That must make you feel awfully good.
Yeah, they were doing soccer chants, you know, yesterday too. So it's really amazing. You know, we will have the biggest rating, you know, ever for a car race. You know, we will beat Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in Chile on ratings for sure. You know, so it's a big responsibility. Started on the front row, we did the fastest single qualifying lap. So we have a good chance. We're not among the favorites in the press, but that's a good thing. They will be surprised at the end of the race.
Well, Al Michaels, last year, A.J. Foyt's 3 drivers finished 1st, 3rd, and 6th. Today, he wants the Indy hat trick, a top 3 sweep.
Jerry, speaking of hat tricks, a couple of hockey fans will be driving today. There's Greg Ray and Robbie Buell. They love the sport. They want the Borg Warner Trophy. But look what was in the garage 2 days ago. The Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup is everywhere. In fact, the Stanley Cup is on ABC. Game 3 of the finals coming your way next Saturday night at 8 Eastern time. The New Jersey Devils against the Dallas Stars, who knocked off Colorado last night. The rain has stopped. They have begun to dry the track here in Indianapolis, and very shortly again we'll be staying updated with Brian Barnhart as to when this race, the 84th Indy 500, can get underway. Just sprinkling right now, and as you can see behind me, the cars are going by to begin to dry the track. The jet blowers will come out fairly shortly, but a race that was supposed to have started in about 20 minutes will obviously be delayed here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which was built early in the 20th century, and of course it was taken over during World War II by the Holman family, Tony Holman, and through the years the Holman family has run the operation. They have upgraded the operation. Tony George, now the president of the Speedway, has overseen the advent of the Brickyard 400 stock car race. That's run here each August, and the United States Grand Prix Formula One racing will be run here in September. They have built a Formula One facility here at Indianapolis. That race in late September. Eddie Cheever is a guy who knows all about Formula One racing. That's where he cut his eye teeth years ago. As we go to Jack Arute.
But in 1998, Al, Eddie Cheever learned the importance of luck. Look at Eddie in the spot shadow here. He flirted with disaster early in the race. But by the checkered flag, that near miss, hey, it was just a memory, because that Formula One veteran captured his first Indy 500. And from that day forward, Eddie, your official title has changed.
What do they say?
Indy 500 champion, Eddie Cheever Jr.
Yes, that's true.
It was a very special day for you. I remember interviewing you in Victory Lane, and you said your dad always told you or gave you some advice about motor racing.
Well, I left home at a very early age, and I don't think he was too happy by it. So his leaving remarks were, you know, if you're going to win something, if you're going to go out and do something, win an important race like the Indianapolis 500. So that thought came into my mind as I finished the race, and this is a very nerve-wracking weekend. And when the whole race is said and done, and you've crossed that line, and you know you've won the race, the best 30 seconds of your life are probably those 30 seconds before you get back to the pits.
How much does your life change, though, once you've been classified as an Indy 500 veteran? There seems to be a lot more pressures upon you as a driver every time you come back here.
No, there's a lot more pressure of things that you have to do, more responsibility. But I think as a racing driver, I drive a lot better. I'm not as anxious. I don't have to attack every lap. You can sit back and think about it, but it ratifies a career. I did 100 and I don't know how many Grand Prix. I had a very long career, and I've been very lucky to do what I wanted to do with my life. But to be able to win the 500 and be one of 50-something people that have won the Indianapolis 500 is something that makes me very proud. But the racing is not just about the racing driver. I was very fortunate to put together an amazing group of people. And we executed very well on that weekend. And so we strive to do that every time. With the support of Excite at home and now our strong Infinity engines, we believe we have a stronger package for here. And I think that today it's going to be a tough one unless we all decide to go put on rain tires. And if they do that, I don't know if I'm going out there.
Let's talk a little bit, though, about your, not necessarily the Infinity Power Plant, but about your month of May, because you have like quietly creeped up on everybody. And I heard you on the radio on Carburation Day tell Owen Snyder and Dick Karen that you guys were ready.
Well, I think it is always good in the month of May to be strong, but be quiet. Don't make a bunch of fuss. Don't go to all these press things. Stay away from everything. And don't take any offense to that, but focus on what we have to do. Our focus has got to be to win our 6th Indianapolis 500. So we were talking about a variety of technical solutions, and they came up with a solution that I think was right on the money for Carburation Day. Now, today, the circumstances have changed, but we have done all of our homework. I think I have a very strong Infinity engine underneath me, and I want to get out there and do it. And I'm really sad for all these fans. There's hundreds of thousands of fans out here. This whole week it's been building like a volcano ready to erupt. And I can tell all of them that all of us want to get out there. We just need a little bit of cooperation from the weather.
Vince, he is one of 2 Infinity Power Plants, and if they should win today, well, I'll tell you what, it'll be a whale of a victory celebration.
Well, it'd be a big story, too, if Scott Goodyear could get his way into victory lane. Easily, he could be shooting for his 4th Indy win here today instead of his 1st. The results have been close and even bitter. It's a wonder he still calls it his favorite track. In 1992, Goodyear nearly won after starting 33rd. He was 43 thousandths of a second behind winner Al Unser Jr., the closest finish in Indy 500 history. In 95, Goodyear was the leader with 9 laps left, but was ruled to have passed the pace car on a restart. Then in 97, confusion on a last lap restart caught Goodyear off guard, and he finished 2nd. The teammate R.A. Lyondike in the 3rd closest Indy finish. Well, the great names in Indianapolis that have won this race 4 times, and Scott Goodyear, hard to believe that you could possibly be in a situation where...
The only guy that has longer answers in the world than I have. So prepare for some very long...
Hey, I just heard that last interview. I don't think there could be any longer answers than the ones you just gave. Scott, in all seriousness, you could be going for your 4th Indy victory here today, and wow, how that would have changed history. And I know that that's something you try to put beyond you and yet get your 1st, but still hard to overlook those close ones.
Well, you know, it's fun. We've had a lot of fun with the 92 finish here, obviously, with the little Al coming back. And 97 was a fun year, finishing 2nd to Ari, although we wanted to win it. Fast guy, and I guess we were probably 2nd fastest that day. As you know, 95, we've always talked about, never agreed with that. But I definitely want to get a win here. You know, I'm sure if I got one, I'd want to come back and have more. It seems like that's what happens.
Have the close finishes been an indication maybe that this track and this race suits your driving style?
Well, I think that I've always looked at this as if you have to race for 475 miles, work with your team, get the car prepared as you want it, and then get ready to go racing those last 10 laps, those last 25 miles. As we know, as I've experienced, sometimes the guy that's leading with 10 laps left to go is not the guy that's actually going to win the event. So we just hope that we're here today for the shootout.
Having been so close, if there comes a day where you decide to step away, would you feel that your career was incomplete without the Indy 500 victory?
You know, I haven't thought about that because I guess I feel I'm going to win it before the day that I hang up my driving boots. But I would probably feel empty. But I suspect we'll win this before we go off and do something else. And whatever that else is, I'm not sure. But I'm sure we'd still be coming back here maybe as an owner or a participant in some way or another.
Scott Goodyear is supposed to start 13th today. We certainly hope that that is indeed the case. 3 drivers have started from the 13th position and won, including Sam Hanks in 1957, Jackaroo.
Vince, we've got the current Indy Racing Northern Lights Series points champion, Robbie Buell, and what a difference 1 year makes. Robbie, last year you had to get the assistance of A.J. Foyt and the Sinden Racing team to make the race, and this year, qualify on the first day, and you get to assist somebody else. First, let's talk about your run.
Yeah, no, I was really happy with the Purex car in our run, and you know, Mitch Davis, who's in charge of our deal, and my team manager, he just said, no, just stick with the plan. We'll trim this car out on Friday.
Now, what do you mean by trim? A lot of people are new to this sport. They don't understand that.
Well, what we worked on early is just having a good mechanical race car earlier in the week. And then what we did is we just took aerodynamics off the car, so less downforce, so the car will go faster in the straight line. There's not as much downforce in the corner, but you're faster. And sure enough, you know, everything worked as scripted, and we got the car solid in the show. That was part of the plan, and it was great to get Steve Knapp in on Sunday.
Great story about Steve Knapp. You heard me say that Eddie Cheever was one of 2 Infinity power plants. Steve Knapp is the other one. When did you guys make the decision and make the call to Steve Knapp?
I don't know. But no, he did a great job, and I think it's a real testament to our team. I mean, you know, yeah, we're leading the points right now. That's not our focus. This race is our focus. But the car that Steve qualified in has Infinity power plant. That car was a brand new car. It hadn't turned a lap until Sunday morning at 10 a.m.
Well, I know the story, so maybe we'll share it with our listeners. Steve had come here the Sunday before to attend the funeral of a very good friend who was his spotter in last year's race. And then what happened is he walked down through Gasoline Alley and got so depressed, and Mitch Davis saw him. And then when you unloaded the car that Thursday, Mitch got on the phone and said, Steve, get your butt back here.
Yeah, isn't that great? And, you know, it really was exciting. It was exciting for me to be a part of that. And I was more excited when he qualified than when I did.
Leslie, he's not only a driver, but he's a team owner. And I'm not sure, does he push for himself or does he pull for Steve Knapp?
We know that.
Leslie?
Well, I had to hunt this guy down, Jack. Scott Sharp hiding out in the motorhome trying to get out of the rain, but we dragged him out. You had some problems with your car on carburation day, some clutch problems. Where does that stand at this point? I assume you've gotten it taken care of enough to get out there and race.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm extremely confident with the Tom Kelly Delphi team. We worked very hard all last week on the race setup. Probably didn't spend as much time on the qualifying setup because we worked on the race setup. So we're expecting that our rewards to come today. And unfortunately, you know, the guys did a great job putting a new engine, new clutch package in the car, and it was fine when they had it up on stands. And when we went out to put it into gear, it just didn't want to go. So that needed some more adjustment, and that caused us to miss most of the session. But we got out, and everything's fine.
Some extra hours put in by your crew members this weekend?
They've been great. You know, the whole Delphi team, they've worked so hard. You know, really, we've been chasing, you know, we changed setups. We really got the car hooked up early last week. Mark and I think, as a team, have been working very well together. And I just can't say enough about my guys. I think we've got the best team out here, and hopefully today will show that.
Eddie Cheever was talking a few moments ago about the buildup of this week, that it's really been a great week here at Indianapolis. How frustrating is it that all of a sudden the rain comes out when you guys are obviously mentally geared up to go out and race?
Well, I was getting ready to take a nap, so it can't be too frustrating. But, you know, you got to just deal with the cards you're dealt right now. And it has been a great month. You know, there's so many stories here right now. And there's just so much excitement that's back, and I think it's really wonderful. And we're ready to go whenever they say drop the green flag.
You've had some frustrations here in the past. What's it like for you going out? Do you feel like this track sort of owes you one?
I don't know if you can ever think that about a racetrack, because it may never give it to you, but I know that we've got the best car I've ever had. And that I've just been at such peace the last couple days. I've been calm, really no pre-race jitters. I'm ready to go, and I think that stems from my confidence that I have in the team and the car, so I'm ready to go do it.
Well, it seems to have stopped raining temporarily. You might get in a short nap, so we'll let you go. Jerry Punch, take it away.
At the top of the show, Al Michaels told you about the courage of this man, Steve Knapp, 36 years of age. 10 months ago, Steve, you had a broken neck in Atlanta. Just miraculous you're even here, but you are also in the Indy 500 field. How does it feel?
Oh, it's pretty spectacular. You know, the Dreyer and Reinbold team giving me this opportunity, and Robbie Buell, and you know, they put this car together on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Robbie shook it down Sunday, and I gave it a whirl on Sunday afternoon. And it's great to be back. It's a great team. We got Reddy Whip helping us out, and also Sonic America's Drive-Ins signed on here just a couple days ago. So we're really looking forward today. I got Infinity Power. Motors are great. I just hope the rain goes away for the fans here so we can get on with the show.
For people who may not know, you were rookie of the race here back in 1998, came from 23rd, charged all the way to the front and finished third, almost like a Disney movie. You have magic at this place.
Yeah, it's been good for me. You know, the Lord watches over me at this place like he does for everybody, and it's, you know, when things go your way, they go your way in a big way, and I feel confident that we're going to have that again here today. And you know, I just feel bad for all the fans and everybody that are out here waiting for the rain delay to get the track dried, but I'm sure the crews will get that done and we'll get going.
For the people who have an injury, a debilitating injury, and try to
And just like you were talking about, Ari, earlier today, pit stops very definitely can decide the outcome of a race as Jimmy Vasser now hits pit lane. You have to be down below 80 miles an hour, but by the time you get to that red and black barrel that you saw on the right.
And what we see here is that Jimmy Vasser stretches fuel.
You're going to have to come around Dinsmore stuff. Come around Dinsmore stuff. Yellow hat Ricky.
That's Tom Anderson on the radio to Jimmy Vasser. But he has stretched.
That fuel and watch Ricky.
Watch Ricky is the guy who's going to give him the sign to leave the pit. Ricky's going to be his lookout guy. So he doesn't really have to pay attention to anything else but to this guy giving him the out.
It's clear. You're okay. You're clear.
Clean pit stop by Jimmy Vasser, who has competed 4 times here at Indianapolis. His best finish was 4th back in 1994. He stays on the warm-up lane and will blend with the traffic at the end of the second corner down into the backstretch. So 31 laps completed here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and green flag pit stops are being seen. And right now we are showing that Robbie McGee is the leader of the race, who has not pitted yet. We'll be back with more live coverage in just a moment from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Eddie Cheever just took 4th position from Greg Ray. I'm Bob Jenkins. Up here in the booth with me, 2-time Indy 500 winner Arie Luyendyk and 1983 winner Tom Sneva. 36 laps completed here at the Indy 500. We've had 4 different leaders so far. Buddy Lazier is one of the fastest, if not the fastest car on the racetrack. He now moves up to the 7th position, having just passed Jimmy Vasser.
That's one of the guys we had to look for in the beginning. And he's getting blocked a little bit by traffic ahead of him. And we might see Jimmy Vasser repass him again here because he's been held up.
Well, there you see the results of the pit stops. Montoya stayed in the lead. Greg Ray lost 3 positions. And Scott Sharp lost a bunch of positions. And
well, you saw Jimmy Vasser. He had a run on Lazier and everybody, but he thought better of it getting into 1 and had to back out.
Lazier took the position of the car in front of him. And that's Jimmy Kite right there. And Lazier is moving up, as we thought in the beginning of the show. Eddie Cheever would. Now Cheever in 4th, and Lazier in 7th.
That was Jimmy Kite that he just passed by. Kite is a lap down, running in the 23rd position. There are 16 cars in the lead lap. Notice on your scoring rundown up in the upper left, the color of the car corresponds with the color in the little box. You can see that Donnie Beechler in 16th position is the last car on the lead lap at the moment.
And the thing about this race, Tom, is that it's so clean. We've seen some great racing. We haven't seen any contact. Clean starts, clean, just everything. And it's going to be a fast race if it keeps on going like this.
Well, so far so good, but there's plenty of action. There's been plenty of close calls out there.
Oh, yeah.
There's Eddie Cheever in the excited home, coming off corner number 4.
Eddie's actually one of the quickest cars in the corner right now.
And here he is closing in on the car in front of him. Salazar for position.
This is for the 3rd spot. Salazar holds him off for the moment. That last lap, Salazar ran a 2:08.6 and Cheever ran a 2:08.2. So very, very close in terms of speed. Let's see what happens here as they come down the backstretch.
Well, Eddie's got a good run.
He's got it going. And he's going to get him. And now he has to deal with traffic in front of him. Jason Leffler going into turn 3, right ahead of Eddie Cheever.
And so Cheever goes to 3rd, Salazar back to 4th. 4 leaders so far. Greg Ray 26 laps. Montoya has led 11. Robbie McGee led 2, and Jimmy Vasser has led 1 lap of the race.
Gordon has, however, closed in on Montoya by about 4 seconds since that last pit stop. Now Greg Ray is closing in on Salazar here, so it looks like the tables are being turned here. Salazar going backwards a little bit.
This is the battle for the 4th position. Salazar currently in 4th, being pursued by Greg Ray, the defending champion of the Indy Racing Northern Light Series, who has once again in the year 2000 gotten off to a rather slow start, but he did last year and turned it on at midseason to take the championship. The average speed after 100 miles is 206.039, and Arie Luyendyk holds the record for the fastest 500-mile race ever run at 185.981 back in 1990.
You heard him talk about use the traffic, gain some momentum.
That was Greg Ray on the radio. Has fallen back a little bit, but listening to his voice, he feels confident and knows that it's early in the race. No rush. Behind him, however, here is Jeff Ward closing in a little bit, and I think Jeff Ward's going to make the pass on Greg Ray.
He's gotten a good run off the second corner down the long backstretch. He moves to the inside of Greg Ray, but Ray cannot get down far enough to block him, and indeed Ward takes the 5th spot from Ray.
Well, you see Ward, though, he got in hot underneath the guy and lost the front end a little bit, but he was able to get it back down.
On board with Buddy Lazier, who is in 7th, right behind Greg.
Ray sounds comfortable, but he's getting passed here by Lazier. Just got passed by Jeff Ward, and now it looks like Lazier's knocking on the door.
Well, sometimes when they feel real comfortable, Ari, they're not going fast enough.
Yeah, you don't want to be too relaxed. You still got to keep the adrenaline going.
Juan Montoya with about a 5.5-second lead over Robbie Gordon. 42 laps completed in the Indy 500. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching the 84th Indianapolis 500 on ABC Sports.
Budweiser and the Bud 1 Airship are proud to provide these spectacular aerial shots to you today, live above the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in cloudy skies, but the rain is gone, thank goodness. Here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Juan Montoya has a 7-second advantage on Robbie Gordon. 3rd is Eddie Cheever. Now, you won't see this anyplace else, fans. This is the exclusive ABC Innovative Track Map. On the straightaway here, number 9, that is Montoya. You see the interval between himself and number 32, Eddie Gordon, to his 2nd, and then Eddie Cheever back in turn number 3 is in 3rd position. Well, on the racetrack, the good battle is for 8th position. Jimmy Vasser and Al Unser Jr. And Al Unser Jr. has moved up nicely here into the top 10.
That's Vasser in the red car, 2nd in line, and Unser's the 3rd car, the white flag car.
Right behind those two guys is Sarah Fisher, and right behind her is Robbie McKee, who's running in 10th place. But
well, these guys, this line should have a run on Vasser coming down the front straightaway.
33 to Montoya.
Looks like Sarah's trying to pass Al Jr. here.
She took a look, but
Al Jr. was running 18th or so before the pit stops. His pit crew again has vaulted him up into the top 10, and that's what you need around here. We spoke about that earlier in the show. Good pit stops, quick and timely. So far, things are going according to plan over there.
Sarah Fisher had a bad pit stop that's dropped her a lap down in 23rd position. We're on board with Scott Goodyear, who's currently running in 13th position, also a lap down.
Well, we're not sure what happened to Scott, if he had a bad pit stop or what, because we know he's going to be towards the front before the race is over, but
with a lap down right now, that's a little bit of a problem, of course, but we're not there yet. If the leader goes out, then you could be back on the leader lap. It looks like Scott Goodyear is not happy with the car. He's not getting back in the throttle really quick. He has to turn in very gently. I suspect his car is a little bit loose.
Well, he's not having to turn the wheel very far there, so either they overcorrected it on the pit stop or he's been fighting that loose condition all day.
The Pennzoil Panther team won the Coors Pit Stop competition last Thursday, picking up $42,000, and they had donated $5,000 immediately to the American Red Cross. So they get the work done in the pit area, but obviously Scott is having a bit of a problem with the handling of the race car.
Another driver with some problems with the race car right now is Eddie Cheever. It's handling very poorly in traffic, extremely loose. He slipped the spot from 3rd to 4th. Earlier was running very well. Said he felt like the car was losing a little bit of power, but the telemetry says the motor looks good. He had earlier ran his fastest lap, but says it's terrible in traffic. Dr. Jerry Punch.
And there's a little bit of concern in the Robbie Gordon pits about fuel mileage. Yes, I said fuel mileage. Remember a year ago, they pitted on lap 26 and believe they may have given up as much as 3 laps to the other lead cars. So they have told Robbie to ride in 6th gear and stretch it for a couple extra laps. They will not pit until lap 54. They were scheduled to come back on 52.
Salazar passing Lynn St. James at the end of the backstretch. Salazar again in 3rd, having passed Eddie Cheever just a few moments ago. Back in 5th is Jeff Ward. 6th is Buddy Lazier. Then Ray, Vassar, Unser, and McGee, the top 10. Stan Waddles, you see in the yellow car coming down pit road for another pit stop. And on the racetrack there is Stan Waddles coming to a stop. He was among the first to pit on the first sequence of pit stops and does so again.
And Eddie Cheever right now, a guy who says that he's really loose and really struggling out there, standing up in the seat. He's a guy hoping for a yellow because he doesn't want to drive the remainder of the stint to wait for his scheduled pit stop. And some drivers out there with bad handling cars are just hoping and praying for a yellow flag right now.
Well, what's interesting is that a lot of these guys didn't make a very big adjustment on that first stop. We just saw a half a turn or so. Usually that means the cars, they're pretty happy with the car. But if they turn the wing...
And with all the rain out there, now the cars are different. The track is getting some more rubber on it. So conditions are changing. And teams, as you said, Tom, have to adapt to these conditions. But the driver, in the meantime, has to keep the thing off the fence. And Jeff Ward is closing in big time on Eddie right now.
And as you know, Ari, it's if you're going to have the balance off, you'd rather have a little understeer than have the back end be loose on you.
Oh, yep.
See what Jeff Ward can do, if anything, with Cheever up ahead. They approach the end of the long backstretch and begin the turn down into turn number 3. Ward gains a few feet, but is not in position to try to take the position right now. Maybe he will as they come off the 4th corner and down the main straightaway.
In fact, Jeff Ward was pushing a little bit coming all 4 and had to get out of the throttle a little bit and lost his speed coming onto the straight and couldn't make the pass on Eddie.
Well, it's so tough. You've got to time that. You got to time your momentum just right. If you get too close to him on the exit of the corner, you'll lose the nose just as you get to the wall. You got to roll out of the throttle and lose that momentum.
And you got to roll out of the throttle real gently, otherwise the back end will snap around you because you have your steering turned to the left so much. And now Buddy Lazier.
Look at this run. Look at the run he's got.
And he passes Andy Hillenberg and also passes Jeff Ward, and so move Buddy Lazier up to the 5th position, taking 5th from Jeff Ward.
And Jeff Ward was held up by Andy Hillenberg on that occasion there, and that's what gave Buddy Lazier the chance to run up in his draft and pass him.
Well,
and Robbie Gordon is in the pits.
Robbie Gordon in the pits. They will make not a single adjustment on the car. Robbie says the car is, I quote, perfect. They are very concerned about having pitted early, though. They have him running in 6th gear to save fuel. They get it completely full of fuel. Gordon now gets it in gear and is away.
Freeze on fuel. Use your clutch. Freeze on fuel and use your clutch.
Robbie Gordon.
Don't know what he means by use your clutch. He might have a clutch problem.
Gordon almost won the race last year, running out of fuel late. He finished in 4th position and has had a couple of other 5th place finishes here at Indy in 94 and in 95. So he makes his 2nd pit stop at the conclusion of lap number 55. And Montoya now has a 21-second lead on Eliseo Salazar, and Eddie Cheever 24 seconds behind. More in a moment from Indianapolis.
Go Midas and FedEx. FedEx, be absolutely sure.
Pit stops being made here in Indianapolis. Eddie Cheever is in, and just ahead of him is Greg Ray. The work on Cheever's car just about finished. Indeed, the car goes down from the jacks and he rolls away. Greg Ray remains on pit road for the moment. You see the sticker tires there on Eddie Cheever as he comes down pit lane, and Greg Ray has also completed his 2nd green flag pit stop and is rolling once again. Other cars in include Scott Goodyear and Davey Hamilton.
Bob, as far as Eddie Cheever was concerned, the car's still extremely loose in traffic. They took a front wing out, says he wants to just get it comfortable. He's out there just turning laps in 6th gear. Feels like the car is good enough, but it's not as comfortable as he would like it.
Well, hopefully this adjustment has made an improvement to the car for him, because at the rate this race is going, as we were talking about earlier.
Scott Sharp is in the pits. He gives up his 5th position to make his 2nd pit stop. Crew changing tires, filling it with fuel, waiting for the fuel to be topped off.
No wing adjustments on that car, so he might be happy with his car, although they might have made a tire pressure change or a stagger change. We don't know that.
And he's rolling. There is Juan Montoya, the leader of the race, and now he comes into the pit area for his pit stop.
Has to slow down to 80 miles an hour.
And remember,
Montoya to slow down. He doesn't have the same sort of brakes that he has on his kart card. It almost makes his mark. Nominal stop. Chip Ganassi continues to tell him that things are good, that he's having a good run.
You ready?
He has a problem with his visor, though. It is very oily. He asked for a rag. They said, we'll give it to you the next time. That was a 10.9-second stop.
Well, you could see him signal to the crew with his hand that he was having a vision problem. So either he's gotten rid of all of his tear-offs already, Bob, and he's got some oil on that shield.
And with his pit stop, he gives the lead to his teammate, Jimmy Vasser. And this is the second time that Vasser has led this afternoon.
And he took it off right after, as he was coming in the pit for his first pit stop, he already took one off, which is pretty quick because he wasn't really driving behind a lot of other cars. So there must have been some oil coming from Greg Ray, who was ahead of him at the time, and that was about the only car ahead of him, right?
Yeah, early, but you know how it is early in the race. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, you
all
got
the
the pylon. You got George is waving at you. Ricky's waving at you. You got to come around Dinsmore stuff.
That's Tom Anderson. He's vectoring Vasser onto pit road. Vasser hits the marks, the crew goes to work.
No problem with the tire pressure.
Let's keep an eye on if it make a change on the front wing. There they go. They make a change. On the left front wing only.
At this point in the race, Ari, that's pretty normal for guys to make minor adjustments the way they did with Vasser's car.
On board here with Buddy Lazier, who is in 8th position at the moment.
Passing Robbie Buell.
Well, Buddy's actually been the fastest car through turn 4 all day, Bob. We've got, you know, some of these computers in the booth here, and Buddy Lazier in turn 4 is the fastest car.
And here we see Greg Ray getting a run on Salazar, who was held up by Robbie Buell, who just headed into the pits. And there goes Greg Ray.
Oh, and Greg Ray has a broken suspension. Impossible at this moment to tell what happened, but obviously the race is going to be over for Greg Ray.
Well, I don't know if he might have white-walled, the car might have pushed and just grazed the right front into the wall, because normally without any kind of contact, you know, those things just don't break.
Caution is out for the first time this afternoon. Comes on lap number 67.
Yeah, he did hit the wall for sure, because there's also a, I mean, we know he hit something, but his right rear tire.
Look at Al. Look at
and Allenser Jr. is smoking. He lost a lap just before his pit stop, shown now in 12th position, a lap down, and he too may be in a terminal situation.
He's got radiators, so caught him out of the side pod, Bob. So the radiators let go. It might be a heating problem.
Yeah, I can walk up on everywhere and also got water temps going up.
Well, two contenders apparently eliminated here.
Put the fuel and tires, and then we're going to pull the left body and see what's going on.
Greg Ray has made it to his pit box. And let's see if we can tell what happened out there as Allenser Jr. tries to find pit road. Here it is.
Well, again, he just got out of the groove. He just pushed. He got it up in the gray stuff and knocked the right front off of it, Ari.
Boy.
Last year was the left front when he had a collision on pit road. This year it is the right front that has done in Greg Ray. And the defending Indy Racing Northern Light Series is apparently out, Jack.
Yeah, indeed he is. It's going to take an awful lot to get him back repaired. I think what they might do, though, because points are so precious in the Indy Racing Series this year, they may take him to the garage area and try to affect the changes. In fact, that's indeed what they're going to do. A new rule instituted several years ago allows you, NASCAR style, to go down there in a gasoline alley and make the change. Let's check in with Vince Welch for news on Allenser Jr.
Well, Allenser Jr. may be a bit a victim of that Greg Ray incident as well, because Rick Gallus says that they believe they ran over some debris and possibly ruptured the oil tank. But either way, it's not a good sign for the Allenser Jr. team. There is heavy damage on the right side of the lower part.
what she actually learned in her first Indy 500. She said after hearing so much about it, what it's like to race in the Indy 500, she's glad she actually got to find out for herself.
Vassar repasses Salazar, and the battle continues.
Well, Salazar really got held up there by, it looked like Johnny Unser, but really got held up and gave Vassar a chance to get that run.
Right now it looks like Robbie Gordon is getting held by Johnny Unser as well.
Juan Montoya leads at the Indianapolis 500 with 142 laps completed. Buddy Lazier 3.5 seconds behind. The 5th caution of the race is out. The pits are closed. That red flag with the yellow cross indicates the pits are closed. It's Greg Ray once again. He's hit the wall again out in turn number 2 again. And here's a replay of what happened with Greg.
Well, again, the car just pushed. He wasn't even close to the groove. It didn't want to turn at all. Well, look at it. Even before he got to the corner, the thing was up into the gray, Bob. And again, this is one of the problems when you go in and try to fix a car that smacked the wall already once today. It's tough. You're in a hurry. A lot of times you don't catch everything, and that can be the result.
It looked to me that coming out of turn 1, the car never wanted to turn anymore for turn 2. I don't think they really fixed the car for him. I don't think it even turned.
Yeah, they didn't catch all the problems they had.
Lucky it didn't go in and head on.
Now the pits are open, and here they come. Montoya, Lazier, Ward, Salazar, and Vassar are your top 5. And here they come toward their respective pit boxes.
Okay, just past Jimmy's guys. Just past Jimmy's guys. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Slow down, slow down.
That is Chip Ganassi talking to Juan Montoya as he comes to pit road. They asked him if he wanted any changes. He said no.
Tires are on. You ready? Set. Go, 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 go. Okay,
8.3 seconds, guys. I'll tell you what, Team Ganassi has been outstanding on every pit stop today. That could be the difference, as you and Tom Ari Lyondike alluded to at the top of the show. The pit stops and the strategy, you got to get in quick and get out.
You know what's really amazing, Jack, is the fact that yesterday at Nazareth, the crew wasn't that good in the pits. He lost positions in the pits yesterday. He's racing Nazareth, and today they've just been outstanding.
And Montoya leads under caution here at Indy.
Still under caution at the Indianapolis 500, Juan Montoya in the lead, and will return to the Brickyard in just a moment.
Thank you, Robin. Still under caution here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And let's show you a race recap now. Juan Montoya has led for 119 laps. The green race average over 209 miles an hour. We've had 4 leaders and 4 lead changes, and this is the 5th caution that has slowed the race for 22 laps. And they're the drivers who have dropped out of competition for one reason or another. Ayrton Darrowy was running right up there in the top of the field when he dropped out. Robbie Buell, who is the current Indy Racing Northern Light Series points leader coming into this event, also is out of the race, and so are Lynn St. James. And Greg Ray was the reason for this most recent caution as he hit the wall for the 2nd time out in turn number 2. Well, speaking of hitting the wall, there is a report that Buddy Lazier may have clipped the outside wall rather, as he exited pit road. He thinks he did, but our video really doesn't say so. He thinks he hit it with the right rear, but it really doesn't look that way.
Well, you could hear the motor rev up a little bit, Bob, as he got back in the throttle, and he might have knocked the rear end loose a little bit, accelerating out of the pits.
Just a little tight here.
Dismore.
No, not even close. Did not hit it. Jerry?
Well, down on the Buddy Lazier pit with Dennis LaCava, chief mechanic. Dennis, we just showed a replay so that he did not touch the wall. I guess he thought he hit the wall exiting the pits, but that was very, very close. So he was concerned about maybe the right rear of the car.
Yeah, he had radioed in and said that he thought he hit the wall. It gets very congested down there, and he was trying to get around somebody, and he radioed in and said he hit the wall. I'm glad for you to tell me that he didn't, because that's good news for us.
So Buddy Lazier dodges a bullet. Jackaroot?
Yeah, Jerry, it's about time to see just exactly what's going to happen on strategy for more pit stops. Chip Ganassi, one more stop for your crew?
Yeah, it'll be one more stop, Jack. They need about 20 gallons.
And how close will you go? Will you pit early or pit late?
check, I can't tell you that. Vince?
A.J. Foyt during that last pit stop for Jeff Ward was upset with the jackman Brett Barnhart. While the wing was being adjusted, the car was kept up on the jack until after the adjustment was made. A.J. felt as if the car could have been dropped off the jack. They could have saved some time getting out of the pit stop because Juan Montoya's stops have been perfect. You got to take advantage of every second.
Well, Foyt's drivers are doing well in second, fourth, and Billy Bode in 17th position. Pace cars off the racetrack. There are a couple of lap cars ahead of the leader, Juan Montoya, including Robbie McGee there.
Well, Bob, as you know, every once in a while, AJ will wake up on the wrong side of the carburetor, so who knows what might happen here.
Talking about Buddy Lazier, when he left the pits there's a pavement change, and right there it's a little bumpy, and the car jumped a little sideways on it, and I think that's when he thought that he might have just glanced against the wall. But no problem there, and Buddy was charging before that last yellow, so look for him on the move. And here's Jeff Ward challenging Montoya.
Yeah, he's keeping up with Juan at least as the green flag comes out, and we are back to racing, but so is Buddy Lazier, and Lazier goes outside of Jeff Ward. And at the end of the straightaway, Buddy Lazier goes to second position, and now he sets his sights on the leader, Juan Montoya.
Well, that was a great move, and if he had any concern about touching the wall, he didn't show it there, Bob.
He was closer to that wall than he was to the pit wall before, so he's going to charge now because he has the leader in sight.
Leslie Goodell is with Greg Ray.
Well, the good news is Greg Ray is okay. The bad news is you're out of the race. Can you talk about what happened?
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate. You know, we had a good car at the beginning part of the race, and but we just couldn't pull the gears in traffic. We could run fast by ourselves, but on traffic, so we tried taking some downforce out of the car, and we took a little too much, I think, and with the tailwind blowing into two, the wind just pushed me over to the wall the first time, and we lost so many laps. The guys worked hard. We're trying to get some points for the championship, and I mean, God gives everybody instincts, and I probably should have listened to mine and not climbed back in that car, but the guys worked hard to get the car going, and the car wasn't just right. It wouldn't turn very well, and I was just really trying to come in. After I went through turn one, the car wouldn't turn, and so I was just trying to come in. I saw a big group of cars coming behind me. I was trying to get out of their way, and the car wouldn't turn at all, so I don't know if something broke, if I was just in the gray, and it's another bad day at the office.
It's not supposed to happen this way when you start from the pole, but this is the Indy 500, Bob.
Greg Ray is the fourth pole sitter to finish last in an Indy 500. The last to do that before today was Roberto Guerrero in 1992. There is Juan Montoya, 1.8 seconds behind is Lazier, and Montoya has broken the record for consecutive laps led by a rookie.
And Bob, we made a little light with Chip Ganassi about whether he will pit early or pit late, but they're going to have to play that one close to the vest. And really, I believe guys will be dependent on how well the 91 of Lazier closes.
Well, right now it's a 1.8 seconds separation between Montoya and Lazier. More of the Indianapolis 500 when we return. 152 laps completed. Welcome back to the Indianapolis 500. Bob Jenkins here in the broadcast booth with 156 laps completed. We're watching the battle here between Jimmy Vasser and Eddie Cheever for the 5th position. And there is Vasser in the red car and pursued closely. In fact,
look at the
Cheever
run he
gets
got
a
off the
great
corner.
run off the corner, and he's going to dispose of Vasser down the front stretch.
Yeah, Jimmy got a little bit held up by Scott Goodyear ahead of him. And Eddie just took it right away.
Over here to the base.
And a car in trouble. That is Sam Hornish.
That's going to be a short yellow for us because he didn't really have that much of an impact. He just glazed the wall a little bit, grazed it.
Well, Sam Hornish was having a good run in 19th position, 4 laps down, but it brings out our 6th caution of the day. It really doesn't look like the car is damaged all that much, but Hornish begins to unbuckle. Well, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here at the Indianapolis 500, this is part of the Indy Racing Northern Lights Series. Here is a replay of what happened as Hornish just got the car sideways, looks like.
The back end stepped out on him a little bit. He's in some traffic, but
Real
really
light contact.
real fortunate he didn't hit any harder than that when you lose it coming off the corner.
Sam Hornish, a rookie here at the Indianapolis 500. Here are the other races on the schedule. ESPN will have the June 10th race at Fort Worth. We'll be back at Pikes Peak and also the late race at Fort Worth, Texas. Back in just a moment. On board here at the Indianapolis 500, the Delphi Automotive Systems MCI WorldCom Dallara, driven by Scott Sharp, who finds himself a lap down in 8th position. We're just about ready to go back to green from our 6th caution of the afternoon.
Well, we got an interesting situation, Bob. I don't think many of these guys can go to the finish without stopping one more time. Vassar stopped here. He's one of the leaders. If they get enough yellows, Vassar might be able to go the distance.
When we come down and get the green flag on lap 162, last year, Robbie Gordon pitted on lap 158. Pitted on 164 and ran out of fuel with a lap to go, as we all remember. All right, here is Buddy Lazier now staying right in the tracks of Juan Montoya. This is the best challenge that Montoya has had all day from Buddy Lazier. Now, let's go down to our 3 pit reporters and get updates on the first 3, Montoya, Lazier, and Ward. Here's Jack.
Well, Bob, we told you a couple of laps ago that they're going to have to pit one more time for the leader. Whether they pit early and run the fuel down or pit late and just do a splash and go, that remains to be seen. Why? Because this man, Chip Ganassi, knows that the rest of the competition are monitoring his radios. And Buddy Lazier goes to the inside, Bob.
Couldn't take the pass, though, as Montoya holds the lead, but Lazier is right in his tracks. We'll keep an eye on it as we go to Jerry Punch.
Good job, good job.
A moment ago, guys, Buddy Lazier said, should I save my tires or should I go get him? The crew said, go get him. We don't know what the weather's going to do. Bobby's going to go after him.
I'll tell you what, Buddy Lazier moved up a gear. He shifted up a gear as they came down the front straight. Now he's in 6th gear in the draft of Montoya. To me, it looks like Buddy Lazier has the legs on Montoya on the straightaway, and I think this is the time here we're going to see it.
Well, let's watch closely.
Again, I'm not sure it's the legs, it's the draft. These motors this year, Bob, are a little bit smaller. Because of that, they are really affecting the draft a lot more. They got less horsepower, so any help they can get with the draft really shows up to the driver.
That's why he has to go up to 6th gear in order not to get on the rev limiter, because he picks up a few hundred revs in the draft.
We'll do an at the line this time to find out just exactly how fast they're going. They come off corner number 4 and complete lap number 164.
At the line, they're pretty close.
2:15.9, second fastest car on the racetrack is Eddie Cheever, back in the 5th spot. And third quick is Jeff Ward. Buddy Lazier in the Delta Faucet Coors Light Tybo Dallara, just a few car lengths behind Juan Montoya, who has for the most part dominated this 84th running of the Indy 500.
Well, the top 5 cars, Bob, are all running in the 215 mile per hour range. So all 5 of the top 5 are very close.
And that was a decision that was made during carburation day. Everybody thought that the lap speeds for race time would be about 2:13. But then at carburation day, Juan Montoya, Jimmy Vassar, and a bunch of guys escalated, and everybody changed gears, figuring it would take this to run up front.
And right now, Montoya leading this race has no bad air in front of him. Remember that Buddy Lazier is behind Montoya and driving in his bad air, upsetting his car a little bit. If Montoya gets held up a little bit by a back marker, then Buddy Lazier can pounce and get by.
And that's why we see Buddy able to catch him, Bob, but he can't get by. He gets close enough, he gets in the turbulent air, and then he starts to lose the front end, and he's got to back off. So it's a real tough situation where a driver's got to time it just right.
I think I would go maybe to the...
Chip Ganassi was saying take some wicker out on the next stop in order to get some more straight line speed, and I couldn't really understand what Juan was saying back with his heavy action.
Speaking of heavy action,
he's got a lot of heavy action than I have, Tom. Especially on that radio.
Juan Montoya started from the 2nd position back in 1969. Mario Andretti won the Indianapolis 500 from the 2nd starting spot. Well, let's go to Vince Welch, who has an update on our 3rd place runner, Eliseo Salazar.
The 2 cars for A.J. Foyt, 3rd and fourth. Eliseo Salazar and Jeff Ward both have to make another pit stop, as you would expect. They have a window of about lap 175. Salazar 2 seconds behind the leader. Ward 3 seconds behind the leader. But where they've lost some time today has been in the pit stops. They'll try to be quicker next time around. That could be the difference.
And Salazar has been moving just a little bit closer towards the 2 leaders by 1/10 of a second on the last lap around, but he's in the same frame of picture.
Jerry Punch has more on Buddy Lazier.
Well, like the other two you just heard a moment ago, Lazier will have to make one more pit stop. His window opens up the next time by. If we would have a yellow, he could make the stop and make it the rest of the way. They will pit somewhere around 175 to 178 for their final pit stop of the day. Buddy right now saving the tires a little bit for that final run when he'll go after Juan Montoya.
They come up on Robbie McGee, who has dropped off the pace after a good run in the early going of the race, but he's dropped back to 22nd position, losing laps. And now, once again, we see Lazier flexing the hands.
And I was just going to say, before they came up on Robbie McGee got out of the way, great for Montoya, but couldn't get out of the way for Lazier. And you can't just disappear in thin air because you're going slower. So it was a little bit of a problem for Buddy, cost him some time on the racetrack.
Well, it really did. It was just very unfortunate. Buddy just happened to catch him at the exact wrong spot on the racetrack.
And if that happens on the last lap or the second to next last lap, that's when you really get mad. But it can happen, and those guys can't just disappear.
And now Salazar begins to close in on second place Buddy Lazier. A good battle up front at the 84th Indianapolis 500. More after this from our ABC stations. Halt. The Indianapolis 500 has less than 30 laps to go. Juan Montoya has a 2.5-second lead now over Buddy Lazier. And the most recent observation from the spotters in turn number 2, it's beginning to sprinkle a little bit. Let's hope that the rain stays away and we can run these last 29 laps and see who wins the Indianapolis 500. The Stanley Cup coverage begins Tuesday on ESPN at 8 o'clock. Second game is Thursday on ESPN, and then next Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, ABC will have the third game of the New Jersey Devils and the Dallas Stars' quest for the Stanley Cup.
Salazar takes second from Buddy Lazier.
Wow, good move by Salazar. He just caught Buddy down the back straightaway with a little draft help.
And Jack Arute has an update on Juan Montoya, who now strings it out once again, Jack.
Yeah, and I want to show you, I think I have discovered what the tactics and the strategy will be. If you look over here on the fuel gauge, there's how much fuel he has. Here's the level that they want to go to on the next stop. Now the question is, we have a little stick over here. You know what we do with sticks? Generally, it means it's a timed stop. It could be a gas and go, even though they only use methanol.
And that second place again was a traffic situation coming up in the slower car there. Buddy Lazier just got boxed in a little bit, and we have a yellow.
The yellow is on. Stan Waddles is smoking, and Stan has had a pretty decent afternoon. He's 16th, a couple of laps down, but it appears to be maybe all over for Stan Waddles, the driver from Florida who's driving the Himmelgarn Metro Racing Dallara.
Well, he has had a good day, Bob. He's actually quicker in turn 4 than anybody throughout the day.
Information. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ari.
Stan Wallace was running in 6th place, 2 laps off the pace. And it's not going to be a long yellow if he didn't spill too much fluid on the racetrack. He's going to bring it into the pit soon.
And he has one of the fastest laps of the race. At least information supplied to us earlier by IRL Timing and Scoring had Stan at the top of the chart as far as fastest lap of the day.
Well, fuel mileage is not going to be an issue now for the rest of this race. They're all pit now, and they'll have plenty of fuel to go the distance, Bob.
And it'll be very critical, as you gentlemen indicated at the very start of the Indianapolis 500. Pit work is so important. Getting your driver out first, because often it is a move or good work in pit lane that gets you in front and keeps you there.
This caution has also allowed Ganassi to adjust the amount of fuel he'll have to take on board. They were going to change the wicker bill, but after the problems that Vassar, his teammate, encountered, Chip Ganassi radioed to Juan Montoya, no, instead we will make an adjustment with the front wing. So as he pulls onto pit road and into his pit box, you can watch the story unfold as we watch and listen.
Half a turn of front wing, correct? Half a turn. I hope he doesn't make it too loose, but we need to try. 10-4, we'll give you less than a half. Just a scotch.
Well, you hear it. They're talking about how much front wing to put in. Juan was worried about not making it too loose. Drivers don't like loose race cars, even when you're a brave rookie, Bob.
Here they come. Down for what should be their final pit stop. Buddy Lazier arrives first.
Same thing with Buddy Lazier up here. He's complained of a push with his car. They should make a slight adjustment. Dennis LaCava comes across, adds a little bit of front wing, 4 tires, full of fuel, and Lazier in the way.
And Salazar smokes the tires as he storms out of pit lane, getting out ahead of Buddy Lazier.
Well, you saw Salazar get that thing sideways. He was gassing it.
Bob, that was not the pit stop that they wanted, though. They were much slower than Juan Montoya, who had come in right behind them. They needed a faster stop, they believed, to win this race, and they didn't get it.
It might be, I saw that Jeff Ward might have beaten Buddy Lazier out of the pit just by a few feet, but Buddy had more speed coming down the pit lane. Jeff Ward being pitted right at the front of the pit lane. As soon as he accelerates, I think he crossed the line before Buddy did, and the IRL can correct that.
Well, save it on this yellow till it goes green, then go back to where you were running.
So I need to know, Robbie, is when it goes green, Montoya just starts the check. Well, we actually have Bosell between the 2 leaders. Now, Raul started in the back, but he's actually been running pretty fast. He's just had a bad traffic situation by his starting position.
Robbie McGee is on pit lane, and there is Jimmy Vassar in 7th position. Well, Saturday, international soccer comes to ABC as Casey Keller and a powerful U.S. team take on the South Africans in the first round of the U.S. Cup play from RFK Stadium. The USA versus South Africa soccer, 4 o'clock Eastern on ABC. Flying high above the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is the Bud 1 airship. To all racing fans, this Bud's for you. Well, Jimmy Vassar has decided not to make a pit stop.
And Bob, that was by design. Remember, Vassar is out of sequence right now. He pitted earlier, and this is what Chip Ganassi likes to do now and again. Take one team and work it one way, take another team and work it the other.
Nice, smooth, easy build-up. You know how to do it.
With 40 laps to go, it was Vassar who came in the pit the last time. And all these laps on the yellow, they get about 8 to 10 miles per gallon. So they're stretching the fuel big time now, and we can see the same situation with Vassar develop as happened last year with Gordon, that maybe he can just make it to the end. This is exciting stuff.
Well, it's going to be real close. I think he's maybe going to need another yellow situation to get there, but it's Indianapolis. Who knows what might happen?
And
these guys have been racing hard.
And Tom, Jimmy Vassar was very upset. He did not want to come in, and when they called him in early, so he's not happy with Anderson's decision.
Well, Jimmy Vassar stands on the throttle and picks up the pace as the green flag is about to come back out here at Indianapolis. Jimmy Vassar is the leader. Montoya is second, and look at the scramble back there again, 4 wide as Buddy Lazier shakes his fist at Eliseo Salazar, unable to take that spot. There's Jeff Ward on the right.
Both Voigt cars are racing each other, and Buddy sort of got caught out by it.
Well, Salazar has done this in the past. One time I remember the David Jones putting him on the inside wall on the front straightaway. He almost did it to Buddy here, and that's why Buddy was upset, waving his fist.
Well, they're both racing. I mean, they're all racing for a victory at Indy, and a lot of things can happen.
Yeah, you don't give it up easy. You don't just say, well, after you, buddy, because right now nobody is anybody's buddy out there.
There's give and take early in the race, Ari, like you know, but late in the race there ain't nearly as much give and take.
With 23 laps to go, you're not going to make any friends here at the end.
On board with 5th place, Buddy Lazier. He has his bead on Jeff Ward. A good run down the front stretch is, yes, Lazier takes that spot from Jeff Ward and moves to 4th spot.
He's talking about how the car is handling, but right now the cars are on cold tires. they have fuel in it, and give it a few more laps to know what the car exactly is doing. Both target cars in the front.
Vassar is first. There is Juan Montoya as he closes in on Jimmy Vassar, who again did not pit under this most recent caution.
Well, Vassar has a lot less fuel in the car, so he should actually be a little bit quicker. Montoya, he can do it all with full fuel or no fuel. He's fast.
Montoya faster on that lap than Vassar. In fact, he was faster than a couple of other cars. Let's see what he does here. Montoya's right on that rear wing of Vassar as they go into turn 2 and down the backstretch. And now here is Montoya making the move at the end of the backstretch, and Montoya takes the lead from Jimmy Vassar.
You heard him on the radio. He said the car was loose. Now that problem can get worse as the laps go down. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Well, the leader at lap 180 has failed to win 7 of the last 8 Indianapolis 500-mile races. That is an amazing statistic, but that is the way it's occurred. There is Eliseo Salazar, who finds himself in 3rd position now. Right behind him is Buddy Lazier.
And again, every time we see it on the restarts is where Montoya just really goes for it. He really gets out there on cold tires and drives really hard, and we saw a 4-mile-an-hour difference in lap time between him and the competition, and it's costing these guys dearly now. Buddy Lazier, you can hear he lifted off the throttle there. Yeah. He has a push coming off of 4. He can't really attack as he did earlier in the race.
Well, you can see with his left hand he's moving the weight jacker. He's trying to correct that push problem, Ari, by turning weight to the left front of the car.
But he doesn't seem to be as strong as he was when he was trailing Montoya by a second and actually closing in on him. On this particular stint, you know, with a different set of tires, he doesn't have the same car he had earlier, and that can happen here quite a bit.
Well, really, the only question mark really now is they did a timed fuel stop. Did they get enough fuel in the car to go the distance? I think that would be Juan's only concern right now.
And Tom, that was exactly what Juan asked Chip Ganassi before they went back to green. Ganassi said, of course. We got enough in. Don't worry about it.
Now here is Eliseo Salazar taking 2nd place from Vassar.
That was Mark Dismore in front of...
Well, again, the traffic's serious. There's a lot of fast cars out there. Some of them might be a lap down, but they're all running very close to the same speeds.
And Jeff Ward now. That's Mark Dismore on the left as Ward finds himself in the 5th spot.
Vassar still. Oh, that's too close. That's too close.
Look at
Eddie Cheever and Robbie Gordon.
Man.
Robbie never gave up. I mean, he on the outside. Now that's tough to get away with.
No friends there.
And that was good racing.
Vassar maintains his position in 2nd spot. Eddie Cheever crosses the line 9.9 seconds behind the leader Montoya. Team Target Ganassi running 1st and 2nd. Only 4 times have team cars finished 1-2 in the Indy 500. Fred Treadway did it in '97 with Ari Luyendyk and Scott Goodyear.
Well, we know for a fact, Bob, a lot of times they tell the driver what they think he wants to hear and not necessarily the facts. They told Robbie Gordon last year he had plenty of fuel to go, and it turned out not to be the case.
Montoya still stretching his lead a little bit over Vassar. 3.58 seconds ahead of his teammate. Salazar 6 seconds behind Montoya. These two guys are racing each other, but in front of them is Mark Dismore, who's a lap down. And he's not really in their way, but he's maybe just slowing them down a tad and kind of getting in the way of that battle.
The battle for 6th position. Robbie Gordon holds 6th, and Eddie Cheever pursuing in the 7th position. Both of these drivers about 10.5 seconds behind the leader of the race, Montoya, who continues to stretch out the advantage. It's now 4.3 seconds over his teammate Jimmy Vassar and 6.5 seconds over 3rd place Eliseo Salazar. Look how much faster he is. 2:17.3 the last lap. And Jeff Ward was the 2nd quickest that last time around. It's just about 6 o'clock on the East Coast. And here is Buddy Lazier taking the spot from Salazar. So move Lazier up to third once again. We have 15 laps to go in the rain-delayed Indianapolis 500. Juan Montoya leads his teammate Jimmy Vasser. Only 4 leaders so far today. Montoya has led 153 of the 186 laps that we have run. Greg Ray, the defending Indy Racing Northern Light Series champion, has led the second most number of laps, 26, but he crashed twice in this race and is out of competition. Jimmy Vasser has led 5, and Robbie McGee, the only other leader, he has been in front for 2 circuits.
Well, Lazier and Salazar, they got a good chance to catch Vasser, but I don't know if they got anything for Montoya.
That's right, and here we see Jason Leffer in front of Buddy Lazier, and he's not holding him up. We can see Salazar is not really getting closer. He's trying the inside. Sorry.
Ari Leidenbach, a moment ago, you commented that Buddy Lazier had a severe push. He has worked the weight jackers a little bit in the car, and the push has gotten better. He has been told as the fuel burns off, it should get less and less. He just reported a moment ago, the push is getting better. He's gaining speed. That's why he went by Salazar a moment ago.
And here is Jeff Ward now to the inside of a slower car, and Eliseo Salazar also comes up.
And we see that Salazar was running third. Now he's running fifth. He just got passed by Buddy Lazier first, and right afterwards he got passed by his teammate Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward has a great finishing record here. The last 3 years Jeff has finished second and third, and right now he's running in 4th position. And it's not over yet. We have 12 laps to go.
There is Montoya just going out of your frame, and here comes second place Jimmy Vasser. There is Lazier. And not too far behind him is Jeff Ward.
Look for it. You're +6 over Jimmy, you're +10 over Lazier.
That's Chip Ganassi telling Montoya what the situation is.
For those of you just tuning in for ABC World News, just stay with us. We will have it at the conclusion of the Indianapolis 500. We have just a little more than 10 circuits remaining. On board with Buddy Lazier once again as he tries desperately to catch Juan Montoya, and he is catching up to Jimmy Vasser.
Well, he's all over Vasser.
He closed in on Vasser quite a lot that last lap by about 2 seconds.
Now 190 laps completed, 10 to go in the 84th running of the Indianapolis 500, and the leader at lap 190 has failed to win 4 of the last 5. So don't go away. Remember what happened last year as Robbie Gordon came down for the white flag. He ran out of fuel. And we'll see what happens here in the closing stages in 2000. Now Lazier once again closing in on Jimmy Vasser for that second position.
And it looks to me like he's got a great run coming off of 4 here. It's not going to happen this time around, but it looks like it's going to happen soon. And of course, we don't know about Jimmy Vasser's situation. He did not pit on that last lap, on that last yellow, and he might have to come in for fuel. But in the meantime, he's a buffer between Montoya and Lazier, and he can hold him up just enough so Montoya has a real nice cushion.
Well, if Vasser can hold him off, it might not be green light specials at Target. It might be 2 for 1 at the Target stores, Bob.
Jimmy Vasser has competed here 4 times previously. First back in 1992, he finished in 21st position as there is Montoya completing lap number 192. Second year here in Indy, Vasser finished 13th. In 1994, he was 4th. In 95, he was 22nd. And he returns now to the Indianapolis 500 and finds himself in the second spot. But again, Lazier is all over him.
And traffic is right ahead of these 2 guys, but Buddy didn't need the traffic this time. He's doing it on his own.
Well,
he's getting by right now, and he will be the first one to encounter the traffic up ahead going into turn 3.
And Lazier takes second position from Jimmy Vasser. But there's a long way up front, and laps are drawing short. The interval between Juan Montoya, we will get an interval as soon as Buddy Lazier crosses the line. It is 10.3 seconds, and now Jeff Ward closes in on Jimmy Vasser for the third position.
But there's still a lot of emotions going on with Montoya. He's leading the biggest race that he's run in. He's won the kart championship. He's won 7 races last year, but this is still the biggest race that he might win today, but it's not over yet. 8 laps to go, 7 laps to go right now.
Ward unable to make a move on Vasser that time.
Oh, he got caught in traffic. Ward gets caught in traffic. Vasser's doing everything he can to try to hold on to third spot now.
In our coverage of the practice and qualifying here at Indianapolis this year, we found out that Roberto Guerrero was one of Juan Montoya's heroes, and they met here in Indy this year. Montoya, of course, from Bogota, Colombia, and Roberto Guerrero from Medellin, Colombia. There he is. And he'll come down to complete lap number 195. He finished 4th at Nazareth yesterday in the Kart FedEx Championship event.
5 to go. 5 laps to go.
Lazier.
5 to go. Chip Ganassi tells Juan Montoya, and Montoya goes, okay. He's just really calm and relaxed there. He sounds like he's really in control.
Juan Montoya visited the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the first time last winter, and his first involvement with the track itself was on one of the tour buses, and he said that his first reaction was when he came onto the straightaway, wow, it's a long way to the end.
That's how we all get our first experience. That was my first experience with the Speedway in the bus.
Well, I'll tell you what, it isn't that far to the end right now, Bob.
6 laps to go for Juan Montoya.
Buddy Lazier has closed in a little bit.
4 laps to go, 196 complete.
Buddy Lazier took it down from 10 seconds to 8 seconds with 4 laps to go. Right now, 7.8 seconds.
Well, Buddy's actually 2 miles an hour quicker.
Vasser's coming in. Jimmy Vasser relinquishes his 3rd position to make a pit stop. He is low on fuel and cannot make it.
And he's not a happy camper right now.
And he'll get a splash and go, but it is a disappointing finish for Jimmy.
Well, they pretty much used Jimmy as the guinea pig, because he's going to have a lot worse finish than he would have if he would have stopped in sequence.
Juan Montoya began racing at age 5 in go-karts. He has had an amazing career, including the kart championship last year in his rookie year.
Buddy Lazier still trails by about 7 seconds.
There are going to be 2 laps to go here in just a second.
+7 to Lazier, +7 to Lazier, 2 to go.
7.8 seconds to be exact. Next time around, the white flag will come out for Juan Montoya.
And it's been an amazing performance for this young man at his age. 2 years ago, he was testing at Williams. He was blindingly fast. That's when Chip Ganassi went over there to watch it test wins. And now he was testing for Williams. And he was so impressed by Montoya testing the car at the time that he said, I'll hire this guy. And it looks like Montoya might be headed for Formula 1 in the next couple of years for Williams.
Indeed, the white flag is coming out.
White flag, 1 to go.
1 more lap to go for Juan Montoya.
Well, he's got a fast race car, but he's handled every situation thrown at him for 500 miles, Bob.
Especially the start of the race, which was a little dodgy. He didn't come out on top on that one, but he wasn't that eager to take the lead. He got a little squeeze there. Just kind of stayed in 4th place, came back to the front, and has hardly relinquished that lead.
Again, a rookie has not won the Indianapolis 500 since 1966 when Graham Hill drove to victory. It looks like that Juan Montoya is going to do it here this afternoon.
You're the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indeed, 24-year-old Juan Montoya wins the 84th running of the Indianapolis 500.
Boy, great performance.
Just an incredible performance.
He is happy.
He led 3 times for a total of 167 laps. Montoya becomes the 60th different driver to win the Indianapolis 500.
Buddy Lazier finishes second for the second time.
Juan, Tom Sneem in the ABC booth. First of all, congratulations. Was there anything close out there for you? Juan, great job. Congratulations. Your thoughts going to Victory Circle?
Well, apparently he can't hear us, but he is acknowledging the applause of the crowd. Down to Vince Welch.
With Chip Ganassi. Chip, congratulations. You've just won the Indianapolis 500, and I'm not sure that there's been a more dominating performance from what we saw from Juan Montoya
that kid's
today.
unbelievable. He's the best driver in the world right now, the best driver in the world. It's that simple.
What's it mean to you to come here on basically a one-race situation and win the race?
It's the biggest moment of my life right now, I can tell you.
He led 167 laps. Considering the current climate of open-wheel racing, the victory and what it means for you, your team, and open-wheel racing.
It's the biggest win of our team. We're just glad to finish after the kind of year we've been having, so we're pretty happy.
Will you run other IRL races?
You know, let me think about it.
Chip Ganassi, he's the winner.
Juan Montoya becomes the 169th driver to lead the Indy 500, yet he now ranks 29th on the all-time win list. Montoya passed 140 drivers who have led this race since 1911, and he did it in just a little over 3 hours. The Target Chip Ganassi car is being pushed onto, as I said earlier, the most important piece of real estate in all of auto racing, Victory Lane, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Quite a story here, Montoya.
Quite a talent there, Montoya.
We heard that from Chip. He thinks he's the best driver in the world. He might be. It's kind of hard to say who's the best driver in the world, but we'll find out in the next couple of years as he develops.
Well, he had the best driver-car combination today for the 84th running of the Indy 500.
Down to Jack Arute in Victory Lane.
And there is a huge smile on the Colombian Juan Montoya as his crew congratulates him. This victory, a lot of it belongs to their crew as well, because they had such phenomenal pit stops. Juan, congratulations. As they said, as Chip said, you're the most famous race car driver in the world right now. How does it feel?
I'm so happy, you know. All the guys at Target, Budweiser, all the sponsors did a great job. I'm just so happy.
And there is the traditional swig of milk. Did you have any problems whatsoever today, Juan? Because it looked flawless from our vantage point.
Oh, it was good, you know. The only time I was a bit scared is when Lazier got close to me. And at that time I thought, you know, it's gonna be difficult. But I so I could pull away from him, and I tried so hard. And it's just beautiful for everyone at Target. Just thank you very much.
The last couple of laps before the last pit stop, you were talking back and forth